Hey guys, welcome back. We are on the third part of Combat Complacency from our Direct Energy Weapon Manual, and this is how it goes. It says, by causing a long-term or short-term, even split-second, sudden dizzy or drowsy state, the remote neural attacks are more effective. When I am alert in alpha state, because the brain is momentarily placed into functional disorientation, which makes it easier to subliminally deceive and manipulate the brain into accepting the speed of light split-second remote neural attack consisting of an impulse injection and memory injection, thereby disrupting the victim's normal thought and memory process during normal thought composition, to subsequently achieve direct behavioral control over the victim. No. This person is pretty much just talking about when they're like tired. Yeah, no. By causing long-term short memory split-second sudden state. Okay, if you're suddenly dizzy or drowsy for a split second, the remote neural attacks are more effective. Well, that affects with anything. Any type of like manipulation, you're more sensitive to any type of manipulation or influence when you're tired. That's why it says in the Bible, you should be sober, because if you're high or if you're tired or exhausted, you are more likely to accept the influence of other people. That's why it's so important that if you're getting gangstalked, for you to be always rested. Now, this way one to function, which makes it easier. Okay, then the drowsy state, the remote neural attacks are more effective than when I am in alert alpha state, because the brain is momentarily placed into functional disorientation. I like the term functional disorientation. Let's see what functional disorientation means, because I have not heard that term before. Let's see. Functional disorientation. I guess I can understand what it means. Okay, there's no such thing as, Google doesn't know, so I have to put quotes on it. So when you put quotes on a search term, what you're doing is that you're telling Google that you want to find out those exact same terms or phrase. So open quote, functional disorientation. By the way, we're gonna go over this book called the War for the Mind, Battle for the Mind. And it's this book about indoctrination, and it goes over many other interesting aspects of indoctrination, like in religious sects, in cults. And we're gonna go over how we're gonna contextualize it in the world of gangstalking. I'm so excited for that. I read the whole book, and it was just good. I'm gonna tell you the most important lesson that I learned from that book. It says, for any type of indoctrination, for it not to be effective, all you have to do is not give a fuck. That's it. That was the freaking crux of the whole book. Don't give a fuck about what they're trying to indoctrinate you with, and you're gonna be fine. Literally. Anyways. Functional disorientation is a well recognized in the aerospace environment. It occurs, for example, if a young aircrew who are in a flying incident may experience heightened perception of minor instability in the air and come to rehabilitation. Clinical neurophysiology of the vestibular system. No, this is all like space related. So what I get of functional disorientation is when you are really tired and you are slightly disoriented, however, you still function. That is I'm sure that's what this person means. So if you're like slightly disoriented, you're gonna be more like prone to like getting manipulated. So now we are on blah blah blah. Functional disorientation, which makes it easier to subliminally deceive and manipulate the brain into accepting the speed of light. So when I am those, so I'm gonna tell you something. When I was engaging a lot with gang stalkers, they used to do something where like I would just like zone out, where I would be thinking of, oh, this sucks, what do I do? And I would literally just stand there, like just with feeling out with all these negative sensations. And when this happened, they always had like porn playing, or there was like a dick in front of me. I feel that is when I was functionally disoriented, and everything that was in front of me would actually affect me, would actually get into my subconscious. I think that is how I became so addicted to sex, because they were putting I would get in that state for a long time, while like my dick was getting sucked or my ass was getting eaten, and there was always like a porn in front of me. I think that's one of the things that I'm not sure if they knew about this, but I think they know about this, because once, the last time I had a relapse, a gang stalker, when he noticed that I got into that mental state, he just went like with like a success type of face. So I'm pretty sure that is done purposely. So I don't know, like they're just so well aware of everything that I was thinking, you know. But in the end, before I left that time, I was like, okay, well, thanks for the information. I just wanted to know about indirect manipulation. Bye. That was funny. Anyways, so now, you know, I literally feel that there are like people right now, like on all the apps, looking for me. I really feel that way. Or like waiting for me to hit them up to pull me in again. I really feel like that's actually happening, like right now. So, update. So I got like someone who's like obviously like a crackhead messaged me, oh yeah, I need to get healthy, blah blah, who like always text me, send me pictures, and then never replied. And like he wants to do personal training. So I literally just blocked him. I'm like, no thanks, I don't have time for personal training anymore. In fact, I'm not taking any new personal training clients actually. But I just blocked him. I was like, I don't want any type of these people to have any access to me. So anyways, this is what's next. If you have sudden bouts of drowsiness or dizziness, you must reevaluate your brain. I think he meant your brain and a narrative of thought immediately by redirecting back to anything that makes you the most happy in life. This happy event or person is called your working reference. Okay, so this is a good technique. If that's absolutely right. So, you know, bouts of drowsiness are normal. If you're working, you're gonna get sleepy like around noon, maybe 3, depending on at what time you woke up. So, being drowsy or sleepy is something completely normal. Additionally, blah 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 blah. Give me 1 second. So, if you're constantly thinking about gang stalking, you're gonna be dizzy when you're talking about gang stalking. I mean, when you're gonna be sleepy, it's gonna happen. So that's actually, I think that's a really good technique. You could literally just like listen to something pleasant and just like imagine the instruments playing in your head. So it is something for your brain to get out of a gang stalking train of thought when you are when you're engaging your senses into it. For example, if you're listening to music, you want to imagine with your mind the the person singing, if it has vocals, or the drums playing, or like a DJ in like a club. Like, you want to engage as much of your mind as possible to keep you away from thinking of gang stalking. Additionally, what happened to me is, how like your nervous system mimics what gang stalkers do to you. So like, gang stalkers would interrupt you when you're doing something. Like right now, the sensation of the direct energy weapon literally interrupted me. But with time, you can learn to ignore it. Before, it was so strong that I would be reading something, and then I would feel a tap, and it would pull me back into the gang stalking mentality. It would connect me again. But I know how to disconnect, because I kept trying and trying until I could permanently do it. So, yeah. So, gang stalkers did this to me when I would be like, studying, for example. Gang stalkers would really just walk in front of me and they just go like that. And they would pull me right back. But then I was like, well, why am I turning that way? So I just turned around in the other direction. Anyways. Oh, so when I was about to leave the home shelter, remember, I never gave them any show of me acting crazy. Never, not once at the homeless shelter. So it was like the week before I was leaving, and then there was like an RA, a residential advisor, inside the elevator with me, and she was like, "God, give me something. It's my birthday." And I was just like looking at her, and I literally just went like, "You ain't getting shit." And then I just walked out. And then I left the homeless shelter, and they never ever got a show from me. Never. Not once. And I have never been so proud of myself. Because, oh man, I felt stabbing. I had to sleep like this. I had to hold my feet, because I would feel the stabbing on my heel. It was crazy. Now, moving on. For a second, I lost interest about this. But this is someone who is, the person who wrote this was really, really aware of what was going in their mind. But they're attributing the normal functioning of the brain to technology. So it feels like it's a strange thought, or a strange manipulation, because these thoughts have been injected through to you via indirect manipulation. But what this person is describing, such as subliminally deceive and manipulate the brain into accepting the speed of light, split second remote neural attack. So neural attack, that whatever this person considers a remote neural attack, is pretty much an intrusive thought that is coming to you because of the manipulation. That's it. So this is literally a description of how your mind is working. So notice that in order for anyone to be able to describe this, you have to be constantly in your head and be really aware of where the thoughts are coming from, how they're feeling. So the description is literally an in-depth, depiction of how your brain works. So it's literally like how an intrusive thought goes into your head. So, for example, I was at going to a client's home to do personal training, to train her, and I was at a stop sign, and it was like 4 a.m, and then I heard I was at a stop sign, and then I heard skip the stop sign, and then I stopped it regardless, and then I just looked to my side, and there was a cop. I thought that the cop somehow sent me the thought of just skip the stop sign. But the truth of the matter, it was just that when you're getting gang stalked, you're more sensitive you're more open, as in you can hear your innermost thoughts, where when you're not getting gang stalked, you really don't hear these. So it is something that happened a lot of times to me, but it also happened to me in ways where it actually helped me. So it is pretty much an idea that you had, that this person had, but it was actually like open. So notice how this person is just talking about, it doesn't tell you, he's not telling you what thoughts or what was the circumstance. He's just telling you the process. So probably the attack was something that is really unsavory or immoral to talk about, which is one of the reasons that I'm actually talking to you about the thoughts. I'm giving you context, because when people describe this how it is without giving you any context, like the situation that you had the thought in, the person it's just gonna sound like gibberish, even though it makes sense. But it's only gonna make sense to someone who's actually going through it. Now, I'm telling you the situation, and regardless of it being, how do you say, pointing me to be an immoral person or an insensitive person, callous, or whatever it is that you want to label me as, I have to tell you the context, because that's the only way that it's gonna make sense. The thing is that when these intrusive thoughts or these subliminally manipulation injections, like this person puts them, are pretty much thoughts that you have that are typically things that people don't talk about. So that's why I'm talking to you about this, because if I don't tell you the context, it's gonna be like, it's gonna sound just like this person. But I have to humanize it by telling you what is behind it, like the actual situation, the actual thought. I'm gonna tell you the truth also. Sometimes I'm changing things because those things are really hard and really dark to share on YouTube, and they can completely completely freaking just get my videos deleted. But most of the things, I have only changed like 2 things, but the message is exactly the same. And that's the only thing that I have changed, just like a couple of things. But I can't say those things here on YouTube because it would have to go on like a private video or something. But I don't think I'm ready to commit to that type of video yet. Maybe in the future. Well, here now, we're gonna keep reading this. If it's boring to you, let me know. Yeah, we're gonna finish here, and then we're gonna go on the next part of it on the next video. All right, so now then we're gonna cover just the description of how this person is talking about the energy attacks. All right, thank you for watching. Bye.